What's up, my chatterboxes? I hope everybody is doing fine. I'm doing great over this side of town. Let's just get into the review. Love Up at the Lockup, Season 4, Episode 4. I want to apologize for being late. I work at night sometimes, and if I work Friday nights, there's no way I can get the video out on a Saturday. I'm just too exhausted. So periodically you may see a video popping up on a Sunday rather than a Saturday. So please just stick with me, bear with me, just know it's coming. With that being said, let's just get into the foolishness of it all. So it starts off with Rick and Ray Dean. They at Ray Dean's, family house for Thanksgiving. Ramona pops up. She was invited to dinner. She brought her a casserole. So Ray Dean said, well, it was a good thing that's what she, good thing for her because that was her favorite meal. And I will say, dinner got real weird because as you all know, we were introduced to Kay, which is Ray Dean's lover, her girlfriend that's in jail, that she's about to go back to because she's only on a 48-hour furlough. She has a plate set out for her, and she's FaceTiming while everyone is at dinner. I'm like, if this isn't the weirdest crap ever, I don't know what is. So that lets me know what type time her parents on. Everybody elevator don't go to the top floor. And then you got Rick looking like a dead, getting caught looking like a deer in the daggone headlights, all surprised. And he was like, this is weird. I'm like, yes, think. So Ramona, she asked who is Kay because she didn't know. And Ray Dean was like, oh, she's my girlfriend. And Kay was like, oh. Ramona was like, oh. I guess that's something that you and Rick would have to talk about because Ramona didn't know anything about it. And neither did Rick. I think Rick knew a little bit about her, but he didn't know the extent of the relationship. So they're at the table, and she said that her girlfriend, Ray Dean, said this. And she mentioned something about her being gay. And her father was like, no, you're not gay, you bisexual. So she says, well, that's the same thing. And Rick was like, no, that's not the same thing. So the father revealed that he had caught Ray Dean years ago with two girls. And Rick and Ramona, they laughing, but they got the weird, awkward looks on their face or whatever like that. And Ray Dean just is smiling like it's, a badge of honor. Listen, Ray Dean is 100% gay. I really feel like she's 100% gay. She know what she wants. It seems like she light up when it comes to Kay. You see it. It's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? I think she just go after the men, especially like in a situation that she's in, for survival. Not saying that she might don't like to be penetrated, every now and then, but I really, really think that if she categorized herself right, I think she consider herself as gay. I really do. And she might get a little ding dong on the side every now and then. I just do. That's her preference. Cat is her preference. And her family gotta, be okay with that because that's what she's telling you. That's what she's expressing to you guys. And Rick, I don't even understand why you holding on to this girl because you're saying that you don't want to talk to her right now about it, but it's a conversation that y'all have to have. No, you need to talk to her. What it is, you want to get in them pants. That's what it is. And you don't want to mess it up before you get some of that cat. That's what it is. But you're going to have to have that conversation. You're going to have it. So Ramona, she excused herself and she left. Like, I guess it got a little bit too much for her. She left and I don't blame her. So her father was saying, well, getting a little tired. So he basically was kicking everybody out without kicking everybody out. So Ray Dean was like, yeah, we about to go. So they end up going over to Rick's house. Rick was about to give her a little tour, but she like, where's the bedroom at? So she was ready to get down with the get down. She said it's been 5 years since she had, sex with a male, and she was like, it's been a long time. So she clearly enjoys having sex with men too. It's not like it was an awkward situation with her, because like I said, she was ready for whatever. Anyway, they gets in there. She lay on. Oh, she noticed that he had her picture up. She was like, "Oh, that's cute." So she lays down on her bed on the bed. He gets on top of her. They start kissing. You know it. Y'all know it grossed me out. Y'all know it. I don't know if y'all been consistently hearing me talk about teeth, but that is a big pet peeve about me. And her stuff is rotten. And they all kissing and making out. Oh my God, my stomach got so sick. I got so sick to my stomach. Oh, child. Anyway, they kicked the camera people out, and they actually got to business. They actually got to business. I was like, well, at least she ain't, tease them and didn't follow through with the get down. Okay, so now it's the next day. Rick and Ray Dean, they done had sex. They both said that the sex was pretty good. I don't want to experience any of it, but, we'll take their word for it. So she said that he was real gentle with her, and he's been telling her that, for over the years. And he took his time, and she, appreciated that. He said out of a 1 to 10, it's a 12. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, she definitely didn't disappoint. But what she told producers is that first she tried to lie and say she wasn't thinking about Kay when she was having sex with Rick. But then she admitted to thinking about her when they were having sex. And she said that it's actually better with Kay than was with Rick. She's in love with Kay. And I'm like, damn, Rick. Because at first when he appeared on the scene, we were introduced to him. I'm pretty sure a lot of people got like creepy, biker dude, old man vibes or whatever from him. But as, I started watching the show, he seemed like a real, nice person. And I kind of feel bad for him that he's getting played like this, because, he don't deserve that. She should have been honest with him. He's sitting up here talking, was telling us that he want a future with her. He want to marry her. He want to have kids. And you in there having a jailhouse romance and talking about you in love with your girlfriend. And she admitted the reason why she didn't tell him is because, she didn't want to lose him. Because she didn't want to lose what he was doing for her. That's what it was. She didn't want to lose the shit that he was giving her. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. So, he goes downstairs, and she's saying all this while he's downstairs, making coffee for the both of them. She said that the coffee was disgusting. She said she made better coffee in jail because he had some kind of blueberry flavored coffee. Anyway, so they get, they slept together. They get out the house. Kay calls. And Kay talking about Bay and all this old stuff. She asked Ray Dean where were they going, and she said, well, I'm on my way to my dad's house to eat some Pittsburgh sausages. So she was like, oh, okay. So she was like, is that my new friend? So she turned the phone to Rick. And Rick looking, like I said, Rick always looking like a deer caught in headlights. He really do. Like, it's uncomfortable for him. So she gets off the phone with Kay, and she asks Rick, well, how do you feel when you hear me talk to her? Does that bother you? He was like, yeah, it's weird. He was like, and here I am thinking that it's me and you. I didn't know that you had something going on. He was like, it's not cool. And she was like, well, I didn't want to lose you. That's she told him. She was like, I didn't want to lose you. He was like, give him the opportunity. Like, this is what I'm saying. Give him the opportunity to say if he's willing to go along with it. Because like he said, he didn't have he had sex in a couple of years trying to be faithful to her. He could have been having sex. He could have been doing his own thing and still looked out for you if that's what he chose to do. But give people this is what I don't like. People need to give people the opportunity to choose what they want to do. Don't be dishonest and deceptive. That stuff not cool. That's the kind of stuff that get people hurt, playing with people's emotions. So Rick said he realized he's been, deceived, and he don't know what he's going to do from this point on. And I'm feeling you, Rick. I don't know what you're going to do neither. But I'm telling you right now, she ain't worth it. She ain't worth it. She ain't worth it. Y'all seen all that daggone bland food at the goddamn Thanksgiving? She can't even cook you up a good meal. That stuff was horrible. That Thanksgiving food was horrible. Rick, she can't even make your stomach full with that nasty crap, okay? So let's just get Harry and Indy out the way. All right, it starts off with Indy, and she's in Lydia's house. She's feeding her daughter, and she's cleaning up a bit. So she tells us that Harry hasn't came in the house yet from when we seen him last at his friend's house. So we already know from one of the episodes that the PO said that he has to spend the night every night there. He has to be there, and if not, they're going to violate him, and he's going to end up going back at least to a halfway house. Listen, Harry come rolling in there like nothing happened. 10 o'clock in the morning. And she looking like, yo, what's up, dude? Like, what's going on? And he was like, well, good morning. She was like, no. Like, so she gave him the riot act. And what I can say about Indy, she is not afraid to communicate. She seems to be a good communicator. But the problem with Indy is she's stupid. And she's not listening. She's able to express how she feels. And she hear what he's saying. But it's like she's not understanding what he's saying. Or she choosing to not, grasp the reality of what he's saying. And basically what Harry is saying is, bitch, I don't want you. Or I want you, but I'm no good for you. And I still want to do what I want to do. And she's not hearing that part. The only part that she hears is, oh, I love you. That's what she hears. She don't hear the rest that he said, I'm no good. I'm not going to be right. I'm not, I can't be good, right for anybody. I'm a F up, because that's what he keeps saying. She don't hear none of that. She hear the part, oh, I do still love you. So forget everything else he said. Like in the scene, he even said, they were going back and forth because she was saying how, you supposed to be here every night, and every morning she was like, cause they could violate you. And he was, what are you, my PO? What are you? She was like, no, but this is what's up. So he flipped it. And he was like, well, this is not going to work. If you can't let me be me. Like, what? Come on. He was gaslighting the freak out of her in this scene. I'm telling you, he was gaslighting the out of her. And he basically said to her too, like, well, you're not going to get an apology. I wronged you over. Why you want to be with somebody like me? And she was like, well, I moved my child from it to a different state. No family support. Of course, I want to be with you. I wouldn't be here if that's not what I wanted. And I'm like, Indy, this boy, he's not a man. He's a boy. This boy cannot take care of you. It look like you might can't even take care of yourself at the moment. You got your beautiful daughter there with you. You got his family that's trying to, deal with you as best as they can and be cordial. But they don't care for the situation because they all think you a joke. Woman to woman, take you and your baby and get going. Go. If you haven't already, because this is, take in advance. If you haven't already, get your baby girl and go. Because he ain't worth nothing. He ain't worth anything. And like, I just noticed, Lydia's house looks pretty small. I wonder why he couldn't parole to the mom. I wonder what's that about, Anyway, Harry, I just can't stand Harry. But what I do like about Harry is he's saying it in so many words that actually he said it. Like, he ain't shit. So at what point do it still become Harry's fault and not Indy's? Because he's telling you and you just don't want to listen. So some of the blame gotta fall in your lap. You know what I'm saying? I can't just keep saying Harry, because he's telling you. Because you only got one time to tell me you don't want me. All right, well, I'm not saying it won't hurt, but I'll live, I'll survive. Shit. So Indy, Harry, and the kids, they meet up with the rest of the family. I'm not exactly sure where they were, but Indy ended up excusing herself and she took the kids because she wanted Harry to reunite with his family, without her being there. So they actually had the meal that they was going to have on his first night out. They said mofongo is what they said. I'm not exactly sure what that is. If anyone knows what that is, can y'all leave it in the comments below? It looks pretty good. And the sister kept on saying, how good it was. I'm curious as to what the contents of that meal was. I couldn't really make it out. I seen like a shrimp. I'm not sure if that was rice. I mean, it looked rice. I seen some beans. I don't know. Just tell me if anyone know what the ingredients of that meal is, just let me know. So they were all, talking and having a good old time. Harry had revealed to us in his confessional that, his family didn't really come see him much. And I'm wondering, like, why not? Like, some families are like that. They like, listen, you got behind there. You got yourself locked up. I'm not locked up with you. I'm not coming. So it could have been that situation, or I don't know if they were mad at him for being locked up and they just like, listen, I ain't going up there. I don't know what the situation was with that. So, his sister was like, I was mad at you the first day. She was like, but we won't make it up because she had a bottle. I think her name was Carla. Carla looked like she liked the ladies. I might be wrong, but Carla looked like she liked the ladies. So, they was all talking, having a good old time. And he asked them, what did they think of Indy? And Carla was like, I'm just going to eat my food. I'm just going to eat my food. So literally, she explained, she was like, listen, I hope that you have good intentions when it comes to her. She was like, because, I have a lot to lose in this too. Like, she's at my house. She was like, you're there. She was like, I just hope that whatever it is, your intentions are, right. And Carla was like, listen, I don't know her, but I just thought it was weird that she would come all the way up here with her daughter for a guy that she doesn't know. And Carla, I feel you on that. That to me is weird. Like, it's not like you was not financially stable. You come here to stay with his family he's not even in a good space with much yet. You should be coming there. Like, he's not even great with his family. So why would you bring your daughter to that uncomfortable situation? It's not like you came and got your own place out there, So I think that was a little bit crazy. People do crazy things for love. I get that, but you got to think about your children when you making these decisions. You really do. And that was a dumb move. That was a dumb move for this knucklehead. You know what I'm saying? So his mom and Harry and his mom end up going into the room alone, away from the other sisters, and they had a conversation. So Harry's mom was trying to get off on Indy a little bit because she was saying, do you really love her? Or why would she, be having her daughter call you Poppy? So he shut her down. He was like, hold on. He was like, don't confuse desperate, what he say, unconditional love with desperation. He was like, he was like, her daughter, he was like, don't have a father. He was like, and a lot of people didn't, wasn't raised with their father. Were you? And she was like, no. He was like, so, don't make that to be a bad thing. And then Harry started going into how she allowed her boyfriend or ex-husband, whatever he was to Harry, he was there a lot with him and the two sisters because the mom worked 12-hour shifts. Harry went in, he was like, listen, he was horrible. He was like, I would have rather lived under a bridge than be dealing with what we were dealing with. She was like, and the mom just like completely shut down. Like, she looked like a sad puppy. she made it seem like she didn't know what was going on. But if I had to guess, mom knew what was going on. Just know she didn't have the heart to say something to them, it seems like. And if it wasn't something that they came and told her, she was going to let it go under the bridge. But Harry was crying and everything. He said that the dad, the step pop put that gash that was on top of his forehead and made him lie to his mom and say that he fell off the bunk bed. He was like, it's a lot of things that, what took place that you wasn't even aware of. He was like, and she was like, well, I had to work 12-hour shifts. He was like, and, she provided for us, but I would have rather had mom. So they were, had a real breakthrough because like Harry said now that he feels as though that he had that conversation with his mom, that they can move on. And I'm like, well, maybe he needed that closure. I still don't think he's going to be a better man for Indy, but maybe he'll be a better son and a better brother for his siblings and his mom. That's all I got with that because, I was glad that he showed that vulnerable side. He's hurt. He's hurting. And they going to have to work through that because, now that they had their breakthrough, they going to have to build upon that. And mom, you have to start asking questions and you have to talk to him. You can't just say, oh, we had this conversation and it's over and done with. Y'all got to keep this going. Y'all have to keep it going. So Harry and Indy is going on an outing. We see her, her and her daughter, I think her daughter named Coco or something like that. They're getting ready. Indy telling us how, everything is going great with her and Harry. Harry is kind of adapting to, being that male figure to her daughter. She was like, he even allowed her to cuddle with him all night, even though he don't like it. He starts sweating in the middle of the night. So she's gushing over how great things are going with Harry. So they get in the car and they trying to figure out what the plans is for today. Harry says that he needs to go see an eye doctor because he's been around a lot of mace when he was in prison and he do wear glasses, so maybe that's good for you to get that checked. So she told him that she has a surprise for them and she wants to take him to a psychic. Now her psychic has been inaccessible at the moment because she just had a baby, but Indy found a psychic for them to visit and to allow them to know what their future as a couple may hold. And Harry is like, I don't want to knock you for what you believe in, but I think psychics just go off of cues. He was like, think about it. You go to a psychic and you tell them that you want to get advice on your relationship and the direction that your relationship go. He was like, they just want to, fill in the blanks with that. And Indy, she doesn't believe that. She thinks that they are really insightful and they really got a scope on the future or something like that, which I don't believe that either, So, they were talking, they was having a little time talking. Next thing we know, a state trooper gets behind them and Harry says that he thinks that they about to get pulled over. So Indy, she says she should have went with her first gut, her first instinct and drove because Harry doesn't even have his license at the moment. So Indy, you knew he just got you. Okay, so you were on him about being following the rules, being home on time, so he won't get violated. But you knew he didn't have a license, but you allow him to drive your car. And I don't know if you realize that or not, that's a violation. He can get sent back to prison just for that. That's illegal. Dumb and Dumber there, they just get, that's Dumb and Dumber, okay? So the cop told them that the reason why they pulled him over is because he was going in and out the lane or something like that, he was swerving. So he was upfront with the cop, listen, I just got out. I wasn't able to get my license reinstated because he didn't want the cop to look in the system and see, that he just was released or whatever, might pop up. And then now he, it could be a fatal stop. You understand what I'm saying? So the cop asked, well, why aren't you driving if you have a license? So Indy was like, I'm tired, and we felt it was just best for him to drive. He was like, oh, and then you're from Maryland, what are you doing here? So, now, I don't think he asked what she was doing here, but he did notice the fact that she was from Maryland. So the cop, he gave them a break, because he really could have locked Harry ass up. He gave him a court appearance, and I'm telling you right now, he got that court appearance. He has to let that probation officer know, and even if he don't let the probation officer know, parole officer know, it's going to pop up in the system. And like I told you, depending on what type of time the parole officer is, he can violate him and send him straight back to jail, or he might just put him on that house arrest bracelet. But trust me, that's a violation. So Indy, the cop told Indy that she would have to drive. So she got into the driver's seat. So he's reading the court appearance and everything like that. He sees that he categorized him as white. He ain't like that too much. He was like, what part of me look like I'm white? She was like, well, you are pale. He was like, I ain't white. I'm like, he was highly offended by that. Like, okay, Harry. I mean, it's an honest mistake. It's an honest mistake. How about you shouldn't even be getting pulled over by the cop, because your ass shouldn't even been in the driver's seat, and you gonna try to tell Indy that y'all would have got pulled over regardless because y'all had out of state tax. Get the hell out of here. Hell no. That is not true. That is not true. I drive in states with out of state tags all the time from where I live, and if I want to do like a quick little road trip, and never have I got pulled over from the state troopers because I had out of state tags. So go ahead with the BS. Girl, he is a piece of dag on work. So next couple is Kayla and Martell. Kayla meets up with Martell's mother at some kind of restaurant, and they're talking all things Martell. So they were talking about how over the years they worked as a team, in order to support one another, because it's hard for the people that's on the outside that's, waiting for people that's in jail. And it's hard for the person that's incarcerated as well. So they all, were like a big old team. And the mom had said, at times when she was tapped out, she tapped Kayla in and Kayla took over, and vice versa. Kayla said they even work as a team just far as getting the things that he need, even for the halfway house. So I'm like, well, he seemed like, he already told us that he has a good support system. So we see at least those two, how, great they are as, working to the common goal to help him. So the mom, she had brought up that Kayla's parents both died. Her father died about 6 years ago, and the mom recently passed. And Kayla revealed how she and her father was like the best of friends. And she said her mother's passing, hit her harder because I guess she watched her decline. And she was like, when you taking care of a person that's dying, you just want to swap and exchange their, your life for theirs, but, you can't do it. So she said that, she's keeping going, but it's hard. And I just want to say, send my condolences to her. I know it's hard. And, I hope, she can make it through, through all this grief, because that's a lot. That's a lot. So we learned that Kayla has moved to Atlanta, and she hasn't told her siblings. Her brothers do not know about Martell at all. And you could tell that the mom didn't really like that, because to me, she got on defense, because she was saying, well, to the producer, she said, well, she moved all the way down here. She made her choice, and I feel like it was a good choice for the both of them. I'm like, oh, okay. And when she was saying, to Kayla, she was like, listen, nobody parents raised angels, nobody's. And I'm like, oh, okay, mama's on defense. Mom, nobody's saying that your son ain't shit, but maybe your son ain't shit. You understand what I'm saying? You know what you raised, and if she don't want to tell her brothers about what's going on with her and your convict son, she don't have to tell him. Tell them at the moment. It's no slight to you, Mom, because he's a grown ass man. You seem like a nice lady. You seem like you might have raised him right, but sometimes kids stray. They do. Don't be on so much. Don't be on defense. I hate when people get on defense. Like, you know, girl, she wasn't attacking him or you when she said that. That was just something that she chose not to do for her own reasons. So Kayla asked the mom, do she think she needs to worry about any females? She said, she know about some of them, but she don't really know, what it's hitting for. So the mom had like a stupid face, or like I'm like, Mom, daggone well your son is a ladies man. You already know what's going on. Kayla might be the one that he say he was in love with, but he messing around with other women. So the mom was like, well, I don't really think that you have anything to worry about because he did say that he loved you. And I'm like, I call a flag on the play. Mom, God daggone well, you full of shit when it comes to that. You full of shit. But do you really think that his mom is going to throw him under the bus for you, Kayla? Like, let's be honest here. Do you really think so? No, she's not going to do it. So she did what she was supposed to do as a mother, because I ain't going to throw mine under the bus neither. I'll talk to my child, in private, but I ain't going to throw him under the bus either. So the mom was telling the producers that, she don't know. I forgot exactly what she was saying, but she was kind of like alluding to the fact, like, listen, Martell was Martell. And she don't even know what that's going to give. So, Kayla, I just say, button your seatbelt, because you in for a hell of a ride, girl. You in for a hell of a ride. So, Kayla, she went to go pick Martell up from the halfway house. And, everything seemed to was going good. He was telling us how he loved her, how, it was admirable for her to stick beside someone who was sentenced to 25 years. That's like unheard of. She a real woman. He was saying how much he really loved her. So, he even commented on the fact that they had matching outfits without even knowing that they were matching. And she was like, so I guess that means we soulmates. He kind of brushed that off, but everything seemed like it was going well. So we find out that she moved to Atlanta. I think she said like a month or two ago. She got like an apartment. She's trying to give him a tour of the apartment. First thing he said to her when they get in the kitchen was, when the last time that you used the stove? She was like, well, last night. He was like, and you could have cleaned it up. So she told us that she had made something real quick the night before, so she can hurry up and go to bed so she can be up in time to come pick him up from the halfway house the next day. Child, so he talked shit about that. And it literally was, like you might open up a packet or something, like some of the dust might fall. It literally was there. It was an easy wipe up. And like Kayla said, well, shit, if you got a problem with it, why you ain't wipe it up? You know what I mean? It's not like the kitchen was not nasty. It was just a little bit of dust on the stove that could have been wiped up easily. She could have wiped it up as they got, situated in the house. Let's give her a minute. Just give her a minute. Like, then they walking past the laundry area, and he gonna talk about, well, you could have threw a load of clothes in the laundry. I mean, look like you need to wash a load, because I guess she had like a basket or something out. And she was like, you really gonna do this? Now you about to have me punch you on camera. She was like, now, that's disrespectful. She was like, how about taking into consideration that you got this 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment? I'm trying to make everything comfortable for you, and that's all you want to do is try to pick me apart. Now, he tells us that he's a very clean guy. He said that he kept his cell tidy when he was in jail. Now, one thing I do know about jail guys are they OCD. They are OCD. So, and he's just getting home. That, it might look weird to us, but I have been around a couple guys, that just came home, or, I knew, people, I'm from Philly, so, I know people that been in jail. It's kind of a natural thing, like it's not unusual for them to be like overly sensitive to clutter and mess. But I think his delivery and what he said to her was out of line. Like he said, well, I'm just He was like, I'm just trying to set a precedent because this is not going to be okay for me. Well, then you should have had that conversation with her, not pick her apart. You could have said, like, listen, I'm really, really clean. That I have OCD because that's basically what you got. I need, order and cleanliness. And she could have took heed to that and be like, okay, I can't slip. You know what I'm saying? Or like she said, you can get your ass up and do some stuff too. Like, it ain't gonna be all on her as the woman. You know what I'm saying? You do what you supposed to do as the man. So they start, or she was yelling at him. He didn't really argue back with him. He was like, I'm going. So he leaves out. He called his friend. He tell his friend what's going on. He want his friend to come pick him up. He's telling the producers like he was just trying to let her know that, certain stuff he not going for. And she should have been, but he felt as though she should have been able to just take the criticism. But he didn't realize that it's not what you said, it's the delivery of how you said it. That could have been a conversation, but that wasn't the time and the place. Like, this girl that made all these sacrifices, all these accommodations for you to come home and for y'all to have this apartment, and you want to sit up there and talk about some daggone seasoning that's on the goddamn stove and a load of clothes that wasn't folded. Like, really? Like, I get the OCD-ness and all that old crap, but that's your problem. It ain't hers. Like, shit. Like, come on. Not excuse the fact that she probably worked the day the day before, probably had to get up extra early to come get you out of the halfway house. So you don't take any of that into consideration. You just look at what was on the stove and the load of clothes that need to have been folded, which y'all could have took care of over the course of the 2 days that you were going to be there. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm with you, Kayla. Like, get the fuck on, okay? So she was upset. She was talking to the producers like, really? Like, you acting like I'm some kind of dirty. He's acting like I'm some kind of dirty, chick or whatever like that. She was, I cook some mashed potatoes and, it's seasoning. Like, come on. Yes, Kayla, I'm with you on that because the house did not look dirty, okay? She was like, this is a mansion compared to what the heck he used to, like 12 years in the daggone cell, and you want to come and talk shit about me? Like, boy, please. Like, come on. Even if you was thinking that wasn't nothing that you should have said. I'm sorry. So she ended up coming outside because like he was still outside waiting for his homie. She was like, well, do you even understand why we arguing? Like, I felt disrespected. He was like, well, I can't change how you felt. Basically, he ain't care. He ain't care. He was like, he did not care. And he said he been locked up for so long, he not going to be having people dictate how he move and let people, control how he think. He said it's not going to happen and I don't care. Nobody's going to be able to do it. So him and Kayla hit a brick wall outside. She ended up going inside the house. She was talking to her niece on the phone, telling her niece what was going on. And she was like, listen, I don't care if it was 25 years. I'm not going to tolerate this. I love him, but I'm not going to be putting up with what he, dishing out. And Kayla, maybe you shouldn't. Because I read Martell. First of all, he already let us know that he was well taken care of in jail. Between you and his mom, y'all did a lot, but it was a lot of other people that did a whole lot for him. He still got connections to the streets with his homies and everything like that. You see his homie pull up. You see the truck that his homie pulled up in. I'm not saying that his homie is in the street because it was a nice truck. I mean, working people have those trucks, so it ain't like you got to be a drug dealer to have that truck, but it was just a nice truck. You already know what he's accustomed to. You see his outfits, like, he not lacking anything. Like, it's a regular outfit, but it don't look like he's struggling. You understand what I'm saying? And even though all of these things may have been given to him from friends, but he has a support system. And it kind of let me know what type of guy he was in the street. He might not been no kingpin as far as no El Chapo type situation, but he definitely was holding some weight. I can tell. Don't ask me how I know, just know I know. Okay? Now, he definitely was holding some weight. He had different, like a lot of these people that come on this show, Love at the Lockup, they heroin addicts. They got caught up on some BS. They just in a way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just in a way, hillbilly, something like that. He looked like he really was getting a couple dollars. And you could tell by the demeanor. You could tell. I just know those kind of guys. So, with me saying that, he's already arrogant. He already think. I'm pretty sure he probably had a lot of people kissing his ass prior to being in jail. He probably used to running stuff. You know what I'm saying? He used to being a man. You could tell by his demeanor. You could tell just by how he moved. He's used to being the authoritative person. So she gonna have a hard time dealing with a guy like him. She's really gonna have a hard time dealing with him, especially when he get his footing and he get back to what he's used to. And I'm not saying, you know, illegal activities anyway, because to me, I don't think he's going to be broke for long if he even is broke. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on with him, but she going to have a hard time, like, dealing with a guy like him. Because it's like, even though he's the one who's coming out and he's the one who should be thankful, just from, and I could be wrong, but my observation, I think I'm on point with, he not looking at it as he need her. He looking at it as she should be happy to have him. I'm telling y'all, in a weird sense of way, that's how he looking at it. And she gonna have a hard time dealing with him. I can already see him. You know, I can already see him. But Martell, I don't care what you was used to. I don't care what money you was having before you got locked up. I don't care, you know, what type of people you hang around. I don't care about none of that. To legally be able to integrate yourself into, you know, the world that we live in, it's still going to be hard for you. And if you're trying to live a legal life, you got a felon on your jacket. So it's going to be that much harder for you. So don't get that daggone cocky, because what you used to be in the streets ain't what you are now. And you need to be appreciative of what this girl has done for you. Point blank, period. I don't care if you was the man 14, 15 years ago. You ain't that kind of nigga now, okay? So now we got Taylor and Chance. Oh my goodness. So they in a house. They must have ordered some pizza. Chance is telling us how it's been, I think, over 10 years since he had some pizza. He's trying to feed the pizza to Taylor. Taylor, she doesn't want it. And he flips out and makes this big scene because she didn't want the pizza. And she was like, it's 8. He was like, I'm trying to figure out why you why you don't even want to eat. Like, what's going on with you? And she was like, well, it's 8 o'clock at night. I might not feel like eating. And her daughter gonna say, well, what if she, you know, is full? Now, to me, the children were butting in where they shouldn't have been butting in. They shouldn't, you know, she should have checked the children. Like, y'all, come on. They come on. They were out of line. And if he would have, you know, snapped on the children, he would have been out of pocket too, which he would have, I will say. But, you know, children need to stay in children's place. I understand the daughter seemed like she was trying to take up for her mom, but Taylor should have checked it. She really should have. Let you deal with that grown man. You as a grown woman deal with that grown man, okay? So, so we learned that Bobby been staying in the room. She don't even want to be dealing with Chan's ass. So he's flipping out, and I'm like, well, what the hell is up with him? It got to be more to it. So she ended up leaving him where he was at. He leaves and talking about he's going to go take a shower. So he admitted that he was like, he didn't realize jail had affected him as much as it has. He was like, he found himself evaluating people's motives and checking people out and stuff like that. That's something you might got to deal with. Like, you not really adjusting well to your freedom, and you taking it out on the very people that has your back, which is not cool. You might need to talk to somebody and work through these issues, because it's not going to work for a relationship. So Bobby and Taylor, they was in another room and they were talking. And she was like, I can't believe he flipping out for some goddamn pizza so early out. She was like, so Taylor told Bobby, she was like, listen, I thought that he, you know, when he came home, things would be perfect for us. She was like, but it's not really given that. And she's upset. So she told Bobby that, you know, you always have my back and I'm happy, you know, that you're here. But we already know that Taylor, that Chance, he don't want Bobby there. And I'm telling you why. He don't want Bobby there, and he wouldn't put her in that goddamn on garage or because he don't want Bobby to have front row seat to his bullshit. That's the problem. He already know what he going to give or what he's trying to give. He's trying to exert dominance. And like he said, he going to speak up because that's part of his house too. No, you're a guest in her home at this particular moment. Have you paid an electric bill yet? Have you put any money to a gas bill? Have you paid the rent? Or the mortgage, whatever it is that she paid. I don't think that you contributed anything to that. I think the only thing that you did was you came with your bag and your dick, okay? So until you're able to contribute and show that you are the person that she needs you to be, stop saying it's your home too. Because it's not. You're a guest at this particular moment. You're a guest. Side note, and it's not really relevant to their storyline. But I was just looking around in Taylor's house, and I kind of noticed it from episode 1. But if she was Martell girl, Martell would have left her first night. Her house is filthy. And I know she got a couple little kids and stuff like that, but the house is terrible. Now, her house is filthy, okay? Oh, my gosh. Okay, I just want to say that Chance is a psycho. And Taylor, I hope you run for the freaking fucking hills, okay? He is a psycho. He's a narcissist. He is a master of manipulation. He is bad freaking news. So, it's the next day. They're in, the bed, cuddling. And he was telling the producers how, without communication and honesty and trust in a relationship is nothing. He got to get better with that. Saying all the things that he think the audience want to hear. Then they get in the bed. I mean, the camera cuts back to them. Taylor was saying that she wanted to see all the things that, because he brought like books and letters and things from jail. And she wanted him to go through it so she can kind of see what it was. So when we seen what was in the contents of his belongings, we see that he had a bunch of female suitors that he was talking to in jail. Now, he was on some BS talk about 38 of them was his cousins, and he talked to every last one of them. Were we born yesterday? Chance, say the BS for somebody that believes it, okay? Goddamn going, well, they not your dad going cousins that you talking to. He admitted to having many female friends that he was talking to. He said he had them in New York, Chicago, all these different places. She was like, well, it sounded like you was a hoe. Now, he was telling the producers, like, he chose to came home to Taylor. It was other women that he could have came home to that didn't have any bills, didn't have any, children, and had careers. Like, I'm like, well, damn, you shooting Taylor there. Like, you talking shit. Like, you might ain't say Taylor name, but you damn sure shaded the fuck out of her. But I chose Taylor because I loved her. No, you chose Taylor because she was the only nitwit to put up with that crap. Them girls ain't open their home to you, because if they did, that's where you would have been. Trust and believe that. That's where you would have been. Okay? You chose to come home to Taylor out of all these supposedly successful women. You could have... Get the fuck out of here. Anyway. So, he started gaslighting the freak out of Taylor, talking like turning against her, talking about you don't trust me. I was nothing but honest to you, and here you go questioning me. I could have questioned you. What about your boyfriends? What about the people that you have in your phone? So he gets on the fact that she still have her ex-fiance, which is the kid's father, in her phone and on her Facebook, and he's trying to convince her that that's inappropriate. I noticed that you don't have any of those pictures in the kids' room. So is it really for you or is it for them? And like she said, like, listen, I need my kids to know that we were a family. We were happy. And when they want to see those pictures and see those images, I have them to give to them. Well, I'm not trying to, erase what you had with anyone, but I'm here now. And, I can't, he's going, basically this is what Taylor's saying now. He's going, I'm here, and I need to have a place in this family. Like, where am I gonna fit it on the wall? Because they had like a picture, like somebody like etched out a picture of the kids, Taylor and her ex fiance. Listen, some fights, some shit you just gotta not even entertain. You're not going to win that fight with Taylor. Like Taylor said, they were happy at one point, and that's a part of her life. He ain't no daggone competition for you. He's not here. He's gone. That's some kid's dad. You ain't gonna have no win over that. You're not gonna have no win over that. Even if Taylor take the pictures down and put them in a safe place, for when the girls wanna, see them. I understand that, because Taylor, ain't no man want to walk around with a whole damn shrine of your ex-man. They just don't want to do that. So I get him on that, but I don't like the way he's bringing it to you. I don't. And he only doing it as a deflection from what the shit he's just got caught up in. He full of shit. And you need to run. I can't stand him. He's bad news. Taylor, don't listen to that man. He's controlling as fuck. He went from flipping out over pizza to flipping out over your baby dad in a span of 24 goddamn hours. If he run for the goddamn hills. Last but not least, we got Kevin and Tiffany. And now we have a new addition to the family. We have Curtis. So, we see Kevin. He's at his house. His mother come over. And I would say, I don't know what Kevin does for a living, but he seems to live a very comfortable life. Kevin has a nice house. He has nice cars. He seemed to be doing pretty well for himself. Like a really good, eligible bachelor. He just a hub. And he keep his place clean and tidy. So his mom came over. They cooked breakfast. He was telling his mom how he was going to go get Tiffany. And the mom kind of was against it because of all the red flags that she's been given lately. And she was like, she just don't want her son to get in trouble. But we already know Kevin not going to listen to her. And simultaneously, we seeing Curtis, he's getting ready. He's taking a shower, anticipating Tiffany's release. He said that they got reacquainted, I think 2 or 3 weeks prior to, that day that we see him. They never dated, but she was like a popular girl. He knew who she was. And she kind of reached out to him out of the blue. And I'm like, damn, so you just dropped everything for this girl? Like, you really must have been mesmerized by her during the time of, knowing her over the years, like through high school and things like that. You must have really was on her top, because you called me out of the blue and want me to come pick you up from a halfway house. I'm going to say, I'm going to see you when you get adjusted to reality. Like, what? You're not about to just do that. So Kevin, he starts his journey to the halfway house. And like he said, he don't know what to expect, but he have a feeling something not going to be right. So Kevin's out there in the parking lot. A couple minutes later, we see Curtis. Curtis done went and got, some little pastries, a waffle. On his way to meeting Tiffany, he done put his elbow in the goddamn waffle. This goofball he's driving and look at his elbow trying to get the syrup off. I'm like, oh, he's a fucking weirdo. I see why he was able to just drop everything, because he is a clown, okay? So he pulls up. Kevin's already out there. Kevin noticed him, and Kevin recognizes him because he told us that he's somebody from, I guess, where they hang out at. He called them a weenie. I think that's what he called them. He said, and now he's trying to figure out why is he there. So he already know that most likely he's there for Tiffany. He knows that, but he can't prove it at the moment. So anyway, like I said, they're both waiting outside for him. Curtis never even really paid Kevin any mind, I don't think. He was so hyped to see Tiffany. So now we see Tiffany. Tiffany walks right past Kevin. And Kevin had said, what's up, shorty? Tiffany looked at him and said, hey. And she kept on going. She told Curtis that she needed him to help her, get the rest of her stuff from, the halfway house. Curtis, he not paying Kevin any mind. Now Kevin's starting to be disrespectful. We call him a weenie. He's saying what's going on. Now he's starting to call her a hoe and this and other. So we learned from Tiffany. She said, listen, when you dating somebody from the outside, you kind of got to take that with a grain of salt. She was like, she was a little nervous by Kevin's reputation. Kevin's reputation is that he's a ladies' man. Curtis is more so the safe bet. That's what I'm getting from it. He more so the safe bet, so she chose him. She said she didn't really want to put much on the situation between her and Kevin. She said they did talk, and you know, over the years, he was someone that she was always able to depend on, and they decided that they was going to see what happened when he came home. But when she came home, but she started getting like anxiety, so that's why she chose Curtis to get her, because she didn't just really want what Kevin was bringing at that particular moment. But she said that's why she started distancing herself from him. But you should have never called him and let him know what happened. Like, you remember when she had got her visit her release date revoked? You should have never called him after that. You shouldn't have. He would not have even known that you were getting out when you were getting out. He wouldn't have known any of that. You decided to call Kevin, so it's not like Kevin is out of line for how he's feeling. You wasn't completely honest with him. So Kevin and Curtis, they start going at it. Curtis start making jokes about, you know, like insults about him. So look, you looking like a third grader. Oh, you're short, little man. Like, Kevin, you could have kept those insults. You're sounding like a third grader. You're saying he looks like a third grader. You sound like one. Okay, Kevin might be short, but we learned that doesn't mean a goddamn thing. So he gets in Kevin's face. He's pointing his finger in Kevin's face. And we all know that's a no-no. And Kevin still, he cool. You know, I ain't saying he wasn't throwing his little insults, because he called them a weenie and, you know, stuff like that. Next thing you know, Curtis put his hands behind his back and actually like lift his chin up towards Kevin as if Kevin wasn't going to do anything. He thought Kevin wasn't a threat because Kevin was shorter than him. But like I said, we learned that that's not the case. So Kevin, he kindly cocked his hand back and tapped Curtis on the chin. And next thing we saw was Kevin flying to the ground in a sleep position with his arms still behind his back. I'm sorry, not Kevin, Curtis. Curtis was the one that was lying on his ass. When I say that was the funniest shit I've seen in a long time, that was the funniest shit I've seen in a long time. Kevin put him to sleep. Okay? Y'all, that's all I got. Ain't got no more. If you guys like the review, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to holler at your girl. Bye.